Hello everyone, this is our English lesson, and today in English we are going to be looking at homophones. So homophones are words that sound the same but are spelled differently and mean two different things. And today we're going to be identifying and reading some words that are homophones, identifying their meaning as well. Now for this lesson, as usual, you will need a piece of paper, a pen or a pencil, and your thinking brain. Okay, and as I said, we are going to be talking about homophones. But before that, let's practice our spelling for this week. If you look at the words up here, I've chosen words that have G letter in the middle, or the end, or in the beginning. In all these words, we pronounce the sound as J, not as G. And you know the rule for these words. So we pronounce J and we write G letter. When you have after this letter G, E letter, if you look here, all of these have after G, E, or have I, like in the word magic, or have Y, like in the word energy, or giraffe. So I again here, and then you have gem with the G sound, and then giant as well. Okay, so pause the video now, practice all these words at least 3 times each word. There are many, and I know that some of you already know because we practice them many times. Okay, are you ready now? Okay, so now your second task is this. Have a look at these words here. Last week we've been learning about suffixes and est to form comparative and superlative forms of adjectives. And now, independently, I would like you to do the same thing. So what are the forms of quick when you add and est? What is going to happen to the word? And make sure you write the spelling correctly as well. Okay, so now pause the video, practice that on the piece of paper, and then come back to me. You have 5 minutes to do that. Okay, are you ready now? Are you ready to check your answers? Okay, let's see. Now we have quick, quicker, and then you have quickest. It's so hard to write on the screen. Quickest. Okay, and we don't have to change anything on this word because we have 2 consonants here, and the rule doesn't apply for to change any of the letters, doesn't apply for this sort of words. Then you have fast. Again, you have faster, easy word, faster, and then you have fastest. Okay. Ooh, but the next one is a bit tricky, sunny. So how do we write sunny? And then sunniest. If you remember, last week we talked about this, that we have to drop the Y. So the Y, we drop the Y, and then we change it with I, and then we write ER suffix. So sunny, and then you have sunniest. And the same rule applies for funny, because we said that words that end in Y, okay, and have a consonant in front of them, actually swap this Y for I, and then they add the suffix. So we have funnier, and then funniest. Okay, and then you have small, smaller. And then you have smallest. So also here you don't need to change anything. But the last word is also a bit tricky because here we have a vowel and a consonant. And I said that when you have a vowel and a consonant and you add suffix and est, you need to double the last consonant. So you have hotter, and then you have hottest. There you go. So if you had these words written like that on your paper, well done. If not, have a look again, correct your mistakes, and remember the rules as well. Okay, now let's move on. Now, as I said, homophones or homo means same, and phone means actually sound. And homophones join together these two words mean words that have the same sound but a different meaning and a different spelling. And we're going to be looking at some common homophones. Common means that homophones we come across almost every day. So the first one is C, you know it. So C is when you see or when you see, you know, this way of showing see. So I can see you. What is the other word that sounds the same? You know that word. It is the sea, the big water, big salty water. There you go. And a sentence with sea is the sea is blue with white froth. So English is language that has many of these words, and sometimes it's really hard to actually understand what people are saying. So you have to sometimes put the word in the sentence so they understand the meaning. And tomorrow, this is what you are going to be doing. Put the words into sentence so the person who reads your sentence understands which word do you mean. Or by your sentence, they will know what is the spelling of the words. Okay. Next one, pair. We learned that as well, pair. And another word for pair, in a minute we'll see it. So I have a new pair of shoes. Now, can you spot the other homophones in this sentence? You can, in a minute, you know, a new, what does that remind you of? Oh, I knew it. I knew you remember that. Okay. So the other homophone for pear is a pear, the fruit. I chopped up the pear. Okay, and this is how we write it. Okay, so here we have share and care. And in pair, you have that's not fair sound. Okay. Oh, there you go. New. When something is brand new, like in a new year, I have new clothes to wear at the New Year's party. And I knew it. I knew it. I knew I would remember the fact for my test. So I've used that word that I knew you knew. The word knew. And I have actually held a sentence to show the meaning of the words. Or when I say I knew, actually, I didn't mean that my clothes are new. Okay, the other word is no. So there are no cell phones allowed in here. And you see the word cell phone, which is another word for mobile phones. Yes, you're right. Here and allowed have their own homophones as well. So here, what can you hear? I know how to spell. So no and no. That's another homophone. So I know and no. Here, so here, come over here. So this is the spelling of here. And then when you hear, it's a different spelling. So here, I can hear you, is the spelling. Okay, so now it's your turn. Write down the homophones that have been mentioned in this PowerPoint. So can you remember some of the homophones? Write it on your piece of paper. And then you can try and act out the different meanings the way I showed it. So like say, see, and then see the water. Or I know and no. So think about gestures and ways to act out the meaning of the word, so the person who listens to you can understand what you are saying or which words do you mean. So here is an example. So you can act out swimming in the sea and I can see you. Okay. Here are some more homophones. We discussed last time I, like my eye, and I. Then wear, when you wear your clothes, and where are you going? Then a mail is when you receive something in your post, and male is a person who is not a girl or a woman. It's one and one. So one and one, I one, and you and number one. Meet and meet. Meet is when I'm meeting, I'll meet you. And then meat is what you eat. And write is my right hand, and I'll write you a letter. And some. Stare, when I look at you, stare, I stare at you. And staircase. And tail. So tail is actually the tail of the naughty little rabbit. So this is a tail. And here is the cottontail. So she's called cottontail because she has a very fluffy tail. Rabbit tail. And then you have flower and flower. So the flower. So here is a flower. And then a flower is also this dusty ingredient that we use to make cakes. Okay, so here are some trickier homophones. For example, higher and higher, whole and whole, root and root, plain and plain, and then we have blue and blue, sun and sun. You know that actually we discussed sun and sun as well, and cheap and cheap, board and board, board when you are bored, and board is the whiteboard, for example, we're using to write on. So now, activity for today is a bit long, so you don't need to do the whole thing. Choose what you like to do, but what you can do here, you can have a little bit of fun. So read the poem. This is a poem, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And then have a look at which words are actually misspelled. So they're not spelled correctly. So how, I wonder, is this how we write I when I mean I? No. That, what, you, how do you write you? You is you. Up above the world so high. So think about which of these words are actually written wrongly, and they use a different homophone for that word. So you can do this. Then here is another poem. Read it and see how many homophones you can find there. So I have a spelling checker. It came with my PC. It plainly marks for my review. So have a look at this. These are a bit tricky, but you can maybe find some words that are homophones. So if you find these poems a bit tricky, you can do these ones. So circle the correct words in the poem below. So I'm all mixed up. I need help for you. How do you know? So which one of these words is the correct spelling? Yeah, of course. Do you know? So know is no, and know is I know. So it's definitely no. Why the sky is blue? So which one is the correct spelling for blue sky? It's not this one, it's this one. Well done. If you said that. I do not know. So not is when you do your shoelaces, sometimes you don't do it properly. You can have a knot and you'll be hard to undo them. So it's not. Okay, I do not know. It is this word. I wish I knew. So new is when something is very new, and new I knew yesterday. So is the past tense for know. This is the correct homophone. And then you can carry on here. And then here are some more homophones for you. So she was stung by a bee. So you decide which one of these are the correct spelling of the words. Here are some commonly confused homophones. So one of these is two, two, and two. This is just extra information for those of you who want to learn their homophones. So to a direction of a preposition, to as well as or also or too much. And two is the number two. And here are some examples for you. And you are is the other one that is often mistaken. We'll learn about these apostrophes. And there, and there as well. It's another one that is often mistaken, and it's, but don't worry about this. You can have a look and just familiarize yourself. So here is the end of our lesson. Bye-bye.